We lost our MCs. Okay, MC1, MC2. MCs?
Good morning. The Scots and Happy team will be raising the colors in a few minutes.
Please join us outside by the flagpole.
Very good.
Good morning. The Scots and Happy team will be raising the colors in a few minutes. Please join us outside by the flagpole.
Very good. And see all the color guards. Say that.
Oh, wow.
Shut this.
I'm always sitting inside. Take off your glasses.
Where's our comp show ringer? Sorry, I didn't think that either. I'm supposed to ring the bell.
Good morning. I'm Sierra Saka, and I will be one of your MCs this morning. Welcome to Makawao Hongwanji's Hanamatsuri service, which marks the birth of Siddhartha Gautama, who would grow up to become Buddha, the awakened one.
Aloha everyone, I'm Wasumi Kosaka, and I will be one of your MCs this morning. Let's begin the service by singing the Madana Tisarana together in both Pali and English. If you are able, please rise.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will now sing the Gosho with Amiga, which you can find in the handout. The words will also be shown on the screens. Chanting will be followed by meditation.
Sorry, I think I forgot to set out the handout. Oh well. Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I show with Amida trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. His light shines throughout the world. I show with Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seeds grow new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I show with Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I show with Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I show with Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I show with Amida. Nembutsu in work and play. Every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. I show with Amida. Remember the golden chain. Kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I show with Amida. In the clear bright morning sun. In the fading light of day. In the darkness of the night. I show with Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life.
Makawao. Let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you are able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, you feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation.
Because Hongwanji, please also make a flower offering and symbolically bathe the baby Buddha in the Hanamita flower palace, which was adorned by Sharon Negoshi. Auntie Jean Hasselden will be taking photos of everyone in front of the Hanamita. So please smile. Because everyone is always shy, we'll go first.
It is my honor and privilege to read the list of memorial cycles for the month of April. Kathy Kimio Nakamura Nakasone. Hana Unemoki. Tatsuno Nakamura. Daniel Hisao Watanabe. Tokie Seki. Eileen Ichie Iwatake. Stella S.
Stand over the line. Stand over blue line.
Say so.
And then
Kiyoshi Shizumura.
Diane
Nao Nishiyama.
and Lindsay.
Tadashi Fukushima. Michiko Tanaka. Noboru Karimoto. Korao Kubo. Haruichi Sasaoka. Hamayo Omura. Tsuruo Wakashige. Masao Itamura. Iwao Kieta. Kamejiro Osaka. Dan Keoke Ramos. Yasuko Kono. Tetsutaro Doi. Hisae Edith Watanabe. Harumi Yamamura. Juto Yamashita. Harumi Kawahara. Kitue Yamamura. Mitsuko Itamura.
Picture together.
Sueno Sugimoto. Masato Matsuri. Shigemi Ushiki.
Next, on the blue
Isamu
line.
Hachita. George T. Ito. Masuyo Oi. Iseichi Yoshikawa.
If you stand on the blue line, I take a
Yoshio
picture.
Yoshikawa. Hina Morita. Fumi Yamanaka. Shirley
Stand on the blue line,
Hamada.
I'll take a picture.
Hatsue Yoshioka. Maru Kusakabe. Kiyono Fukuda. Hideo Akena. Mitsue Hamae.
And then if you stand on the blue line,
Daji Mihara. Yoshie Shizumura. Tadashi Karimoto. David Akira Ito. Tsurue W. Kawahara. Jin Sanae Yamada.
if you stand on the blue
Judy
line, I'll
Tanaka.
take a picture.
Matsue Hamamoto. Martha Mitsuyo Mihara. Tsuneo Yanamura.
Together.
Hirayoshi Nishikawa. Wae Imada.
Thank you. Good. Thank you. We can take one later. We can take one later with the kids. On the blue line. Stand on the blue line. Stand on the blue line. Go with the grandpa, and then we'll take a picture. Ow. Thank you. There's a candle inside.
Stand in the blue line. Stand in the blue line.
You don't even have to smile with her.
Okay. Blue line, blue line. Oh, sorry.
Where would I try that?
Take a picture with my kid.
Let Michael go first. I'll take Michael's picture and then you wait for Floyd. You want to take a picture with Mary? Okay. Okay, Nicholas got it. Welcome. Okay, now my turn.
Mahalo, thank you. Let's all recite the golden chain of God's touch. Let's begin. I am the
There's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I'm striving, bright and strong. I try to be kind and gentle to every living thing, to protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to bring purity of thoughts to their pure universe and to their pure peace. Knowing that what I do and the love in my hands is also that of others. Everything and every position of love, bright and strong, feel all within perfect peace.
No.
On the first Sunday of each month, we celebrate birthdays. Here's a list of birthdays we know about. And if your birthday is this month, please come up to the front. Anyone else? 10 birthdays?
Birthdays, real birthdays.
I just want to eat a cupcake for breakfast kind of birthdays?
I'm just taking pictures.
Nobody? Nobody wants a cupcake?
come up here anyway.
Son and grandson.
Okay, get a cupcake.
It's your birthday in December.
Anybody over here?
If you're young enough, it's always your birthday.
Always a birthday. Yay!
Everyone 8 and under, please go up to the screen. Or 9.
All right, let's sing happy birthday to all of our friends. Let's sing.
That's okay, blow your candles out.
Don't give Ken a fire, please. He's gonna light the whole place. I'm betting about half of these people, or there's half a chance that this place is gonna be set on fire.
The one without the plane. Okay.
Everybody has a cupcake?
If he does, good practice with the scouts for his daily fire response.
I'm gonna put on for Hamida. How can we do that? His birthday.
It's gonna be set on fire.
Now, before they set themselves on fire,
Let's sing happy birthday to our friends. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you.
yeah, sorry.
Now it's your Thank you. We are now delighted to present a Makawao Hongwanji Dharma School production of
Birth of the Buddha. Starring Makawao Hongwanji Dharma School students and a cast of thousands.
or not.
Okay, here we go.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, Birth of the Buddha.
What is Hongwanji is Japanese Greek love. It is the occasion when Buddhists celebrate the birth of Siddhartha Gautama, who grew up to be the enlightenment of the Buddha. Scene 1, Starry Night. About 2,600 years ago, there was a kingdom in northern India in the Muslim. King Gautama and his wife, Makawao, ruled this kingdom.
One night, Makawao. It was a divine truth. The sky was filled with white light and smoke. A bunch of things became a super elegant. Makawao came up and told him about her dream. She said, "I feel happy and my heart is filled with joy." The king said, "Your dream is fascinating. I will ask our real astrologer to interpret your dream." The astrologer said, "I have interpreted our queen's dream, and this kingdom is going to have a great prince. The queen will bear a son who will become a great man one day." "How magnificent," said the king. "My dream of having a son to succeed me will come true." Scene 2, Garden of Lumbini Garden. Many months passed, and as is the custom, the queen was returning to her parents' home to give birth. The journey made Queen Maya very tired, and she asked to rest in the beautiful garden ahead. Birds sang. Flowers blossomed. Rain fell. And the decorating fell and gave the holy prince that was born. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the heavens above and on the earth below, I am the good honored. Become a king or a teacher of God and men. Prince was named Siddhartha, or every wish fulfilled. On April 8th, the greatest of living beings was born to become the enlightened Buddha.
The birth of the Buddha is just the first part of this amazing story. Let us embrace each day with open hearts, filled with love and peace, listening and practicing the teachings of the Buddha. The end.
And now, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Buddha.
open hearts filled with love peace. Listening
Okay, and they're available for personal appearances for a very reasonable fee.
Mahalo, thank you. Wasn't that amazing? No.
Let's give the students, Auntie Sharon, Auntie Karen, and Uncle Sean another round of applause. One more request.
We would like to record a video message for the Central Maui Hanamatsu service, which is next Sunday, April 10th.
Reverend Carey will take the video from the front of the temple hall, and then everyone will turn to the camera, smile, wave, and say together, Happy Hanamatsu!
Okay.
Let's get set.
Okay, let's see. Camera is rolling. Take one, and
Ready to go?
okay, that was kind of disappointing. Let's try one.
Alright, let's shoot one more take just in case. Ready?
Take two.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
What do you guys think? One more? We're good. Okay, the directors say we're good. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Mahalo, thank you.
Dharma School students, please follow Auntie Sharon for a Dharma School activity.
Everyone is welcome to stay for Reverend Carey's Dharma talk for adults, the adult version of the birth of the Buddha. And this will be followed by a Q&A. Anything goes.
So a quick transition. If you're under the age of 18, you probably want to go with the Dharma School students.
Unless you
Sorry?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. But yeah, Aunt Sharon said you guys should stay. Yes, it's up to you. If you want to go, it's okay. Because I can certainly do the scripture from Howard. Okay. So, just remember, kids, be good, but not too much.
I'll do this.
Yeah, you guys can go. I think it'd be more fun.
Good job, good job, good job.
Thank you. So for many of you, right, the story of Hanamatsuri, we know this story. If you grew up in the Hongwanji tradition, this was by far my favorite Buddhist major services, Birth of the Buddha, because it's Hanamatsuri, it's the flower festival. And the other fun part is, of course, the little statue of the baby Buddha. And you get to bathe the baby Buddha with sweet rain, which I always thought was hilarious, because when I was a teenager, I discovered it was actually Lipton tea, sweetened with like C&H sugar from Maui. So, this was in Los Angeles. When you actually track it back, what the sutra says, what the words of the story from the Buddha says, is that when the Buddha was born, when the baby was born, pure rain fell from the sky, so sweet rain. So the expression in Sanskrit, in the Indian language, would have been sweet rain, meaning pure rain. This comes to China, it comes to Japan. It becomes known as sweet tea, because this is actually, was it tencha? Tiancha.
Yes.
Tiancha, which you can also read as amacha, so sweet tea. So Japanese American immigrants come to Hawaii, they say, oh, sweet tea. So it used to literally be sweet tea. This is the actual tiancha. And Mimi made a separate one so everyone would have a taste up in the social hall. The reason why is it's one of those artificial or naturally super sweet chemicals. It's been used as a medicine and as a sweetener for centuries. The basic story we know, as was wonderfully presented by the children. It's said that when the baby was born, immediately walks 7 steps, and lotus blossoms pop up underneath the steps. But before he touches the ground, a flower pops up. And then, my favorite thing of all time, the newborn baby, right, raises one hand up, one hand down, and says, "In the heavens above and on the earth below, I alone am the world honored," depending on your translation. Now, as a kid, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. I thought this was like, wow, this is Muhammad Ali, I am the greatest, I am the greatest. And when I became a parent, I realized exactly what this meant. Right, when that baby is going, "Rah!" It's saying, I am here, I am the greatest. The world revolves around me. You will feed me, you will change my diaper. And when you get bigger, it's like, no, you will give me the keys to the garden. It comes later, Sean, don't worry about it. So we did that later. On the scroll. So, and we kind of alluded to it, right? So Queen Maya has this dream, and this big white elephant comes. In the story, the version of the story I did for the children last year, I kind of sanitized it and just said the elephant bows down to her and says, "Oh, you're so kind for your people, your wish is granted, there's a baby." When you read the original story, depending on the translation, it says she has this dream, this magnificent white elephant appears and enters her side. Okay, and then the next day, the wonderful news is she's pregnant and the baby's going to be born. Okay, even as a kid, I'm going, what? How does that work? And then, right, so Queen Maya, as is tradition, is going to Lumbini. We're actually going back to her home, her mother's home, to give birth there. And so she's reaching for, a flower, and the baby pops up, her side. Now, as a kid, I'm going, wait a minute, I have a vague idea of how human anatomy works. That's not the story that's in the books. And then, if you look at Indian versions of this story, she's actually holding on to the tree branch, because this is how they gave birth many years ago. You stand up, and the baby just kind of, comes out. Well, okay. So I always thought this was always kind of like, what's going on? And just to remember, right, the birth of the Buddha precedes Jesus Christ by approximately 2,500 years. So this idea of immaculate conception. Oh, a white elephant, is that what they mean? Okay. We did get a question from the teachers, why does this drawing of the elephant have 6 tusks? What is the significance of a white elephant? A white elephant, of course, it's very rare, so it's very special. 6 tusks, hey, if 2 tusks are good and manly, then 6 tusks must be 3 times as manly. It's kind of symbolic. So I just looked at these parallels and this is really crazy. And of course, when this story is translated from Chinese into Japanese into English, when it first comes over to Los Angeles, the story is very, very nice, but very mysterious. So, I thought I had notes on that, I'm sorry. A couple other things I was going to talk about. So, it's just that the parallel of this story. That's right, Buddhist Trivia. So, for those of you who hang out with other Hongwanji people, just happen to be talking about the birth of the Buddha story. A couple of trivia bits that not everybody knows. So, the mother, Queen Maya, right, the wonderful, kind, and gentle mother, she dies shortly after the Buddha is born. So the Buddha, Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha, is raised by his auntie. So from very early age, right, Siddhartha knows about the truth of impermanence, right? That everybody eventually dies. So, okay. So he's taking care of his auntie. The auntie plays a very important role in this story, because later on, after Siddhartha becomes enlightened, becomes awakened, becomes the Buddha, women were not allowed to become monks. They weren't allowed to practice the monastic practice as taught by the Buddha. His aunt had to come 3 times to say, hey, Siddhartha, women, suffer too. Women also need to alleviate suffering. They need to search for spiritual truth. Siddhartha's going, well, boys and girls together, And in the end, by the third trip, and taking long trips like this in India was a big deal. So The third trip, she comes and basically says, Siddhartha, hey, I raised you, do this. And he goes, okay, you're right, Auntie, I was wrong. Buddhism becomes the first world religion, the first major religion to allow women access to the path of enlightenment. So again, it all kind of falls together. My favorite little bit of Buddhist trivia, who can name, for extra points, who can name the son of Prince Siddhartha? Extra points. Rahula, very good, excellent. Now, for super extra points, what does that mean? If you look it up, Rahula means fetters. Okay? It's an old word that we don't use very much. It's something that's dragging you down. Right? So he names his son the crown prince, the next king. Oh, you're a drag. It's like, Dad, why did you name me? You're such a drag. Because even then, Siddhartha was starting to wonder about the meaning of life, human existence. Why are we here? This existential question. Why are we here? Why are we here? And so he was questioning this from the very beginning. And so the story goes on. He gets married, he has a kid, and he names him, what a drag. Because he felt that having children is a responsibility that does not allow you to pursue spiritual truth. You cannot shave your head and become a monk if you got kids. So what does Siddhartha do? He abandons his wife and child in the middle of the night. He just leaves. And the state of California, right, the going after parents like that there's really strong laws about it. And the first time I heard this, I go, wait a minute, that's not cool. He just walks away from his wife, his lovely wife, his son that everybody wanted, his responsibilities to the kingdom, and he just walks away. He just walks away. And so the story goes on. Today's the birth of the Buddha, but I just want to talk about the significance of a lot of the symbolism here. The story is much deeper than the children's version. And if you look at the birth of the Buddha and the entire life journey of the Buddha, you start seeing parallels with your own life. So when we were born, we were all babies. Mommy, Daddy, feed me. Give me money. Give me whatever I need. And as we get older, we assert our egos, and then we leave the palace. We leave home. We turn our backs. We walk away to find the truth, and we spend many years in the search of the truth. And so that's basically the story. I'm basically supposed to stall for time because they kept telling me I'm making the talk longer because they're doing something up there. But that's the basic story of Hanamatsuri. And there's lots of traditions, lots of interesting things. So I was actually going to open it up for any questions because someone had suggested, why don't you open it up for questions? So we'll see. But I forgot to seed somebody with a question. So. It's always hard to be the first one. Anything goes. We can actually turn the cameras off too. Yep. So Q&A never works unless you cheat and give somebody the first question. Okay, basic question. What's the difference between this Buddha and that Buddha? Oh, come on. You haven't paid attention on Sundays, haven't you?
That's Shakyamuni Buddha and the Amida Buddha.
Yes, ding ding, minister's wife. Yay! So, Shakyamuni Buddha, in Japanese known as Shakyamuni Buddha, nowadays in English typically referred to as Gautama Buddha. Historical human being became the Buddha and lived and died. And then Amida Buddha is the eternal Buddha of compassion and wisdom. There's a really technical explanation of this, but I'll put people to sleep. Different manifestations of the Dharma. I went to school, I'm supposed to show off this. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
So in other countries, like in Japan or other sects, do they celebrate, we celebrate it, Hanamatsuri?
If you go to Japan, yes. Hanamatsuri is like universally observed by the Japanese Buddhists. Each one would be a little bit different. The Hongwanji temples, I have some photographs from during my year there. They have a big, full-size, like 3D elephant statue. Super cute face, so Japanese Japan. It's very kawaii kind of elephant. So you will see the flowers, you will see the bathing, the baby. There's actually a ritual chant that we do, which you'll see if you watch the video next Sunday. You'll see us doing the Kambutsuge, which literally means the hymn for washing the baby Buddha. So it'd be very similar. You'll see very, very, very much the same thing. Sometimes the date's different because the calculation of lunar to the Gregorian calendar depends. Yeah, you'd be surprised. One thing that you would be really surprised at is the thing that we sing to open up the Vandana Tisarana. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. That is universal around the world. If you popped up and started singing, if you sing the Pali verses in India or Nepal, people will come out and go, "Oh, you're just like us. You're doing the Vandana Tisarana." And it's interesting. I actually did that. My classmates at the seminar in Japan, they never sang it that way. We don't do that. But all of the Indian staff, at the place where we've been in the temple, they all came out. They were just so surprised to see this guy, singing the Vandana Tisarana to Western music. I think about how strange that must sound, right? It's supposed to be like Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Buddham Saranam Gacchami. It's chanted like that. So to have someone come out and go, Namo Tassa Bhagavato, you can imagine it going, what is that? So if you really want to impress people, I can teach you how to do it like in Sino-Japanese, like 4th century Chinese pronounced in a Japanese way. Lots of fun. Any other questions? Anything goes. Okay, good enough. We'll just, now I think we're going to go on. Yes?
Where is the real Lumbini garden? And can you go there to visit?
Okay, yes. Lumbini, the Garden of Lumbini is a very large, national park, I guess, if it's a thing. There's some dispute. If you ask modern day Nepalese, they will tell you, they will insist, no. The Buddha was born in Nepal. If you talk to modern day Indians, they will insist, no, that's part of India. So it's an area that's either Nepal or India. But yes, there is the Gardens of Lumbini. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. There's a beautiful hotel that was actually Japanese investors behind it. I was stunned. And they serve really good Japanese food. So when you visit the Garden of Lumbini, well, it was all Mimi now like Indian food. We were disappointed they were feeding us Japanese food the entire time we were there. But yes, it's quite gorgeous. And it's a pilgrimage site. If you go there, you will be surprised how many Buddhists from around the world are there. And if the birthplace of the Buddha, the place of enlightenment, the death place of the Buddha, the first sermon, all of these places are marked, and you can visit them. If anybody's interested, I know a really good travel agent who can set us up. We can do like a 2-week pilgrimage to India. So if you've ever wanted to see the sacred sites of Buddhism in India, it's easily doable. Something to think about. Do it while you're young would be my advice. You don't want to sit on a long distance bus for 6 hours unless you can avoid it. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
The difference between that Buddha that was Siddhartha and Amida before and after enlightenment, is that it?
No. Okay, so Siddhartha is easy to understand, right? I mean, Gautama Buddha, the Buddha, right? The historical Buddha, 2,600 years ago, human being awakens to reality as it is, becomes known as the awakened one, the Buddha. His teachings become the global world religion. Amida, the idea of Amida appears in the 1st century. So, what was it, 2,500 years before the birth of Christ, and then you get to about the 1st century, and in Central Asia, you start seeing the Amida Sutras coming up. And so Amida To give you the simplest explanation, there is a formless, inconceivable Dharmakaya, the Dharma body, the body of the Dharma. And there's three manifestations. One of them is manifestation in the human form, the Nirmanakaya. And this is Siddhartha, the Buddha of our age. This is Buddha in a human form. Because he's human, the truth of impermanence applies, and yes, the historical Buddha dies. Amida Buddha is considered, quote unquote, either celestial or eternal. Has existed from before time, and has always existed. And so it's always represented in Asian Buddhism as in a human form, as a statue. This is, again, from about the 1st century. The Gandharan influence on religious art becomes evident. The folds of the robe, particularly in Amida, are Roman. Interesting stuff. If you look at a very traditional temple architecture, the columns are Ionic columns, etc., etc., etc. So Amida is considered, a different manifestation of the absolute reality known as the Dharmakaya.
That's why you look like Julius Caesar in the play.
Sorry?
That's why you look like Julius Caesar in the play.
Yes, exactly. The robes, right? Where do the robes come from? The Romans. So the overlap is really quite. You don't see Buddha figures until the 1st century or so, when the Gandharan influence comes to Central Asia. And they go, hey, we could do that. And then it goes to China, and you get a much more Asian kind of eye fold, acanthic eye fold, etc. Very good. If you have any other really tricky questions, we can do it over social phone. So I think we're going to do Ondo-san and Nendotsu and then meditation and announcements and answers. Oh, don't worry, Sean, I can do it. Because I got all the slides in front of me. You can stand or not, if you like. We're going to sing Ondo-san. head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say mahalo. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. So next Sunday, April 10th, is the premiere of the Central Maui Hanamatsuri service, which is going to be premiering as a YouTube video. You're welcome to come to the temple. We're going to watch the video here, but there's no formal service here at Makawao Hongwanji. I'm hoping to go back to live streaming every day, but if you want to come in person at 6:30, please come and join me. Columbarium is open, and this is just the ending video. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining the service this morning. Thank you to the Scouts. Kind of an impromptu flag raising. I thought they did a great job. Thank you to our Dharma School students out there. That they did a fantastic job. So if we have an adult who wants to be the baby Buddha next year, let me know. I think Gavin would make a good baby Buddha. Anyway. Thank you very much. Also Jamie, who we tapped to do tech this morning. Thank you very much. So thank you very much for joining the service, and let's all go to the social.